It's telling me I cannot go live, that I'm already live. Oh, okay. I'm already live.
Yeah.
Okay. You're welcome to another episode of Balance and Harmony Hour. And today, like we have been doing for the last 5, 6 weeks, we have been doing a review of my book, Create the Life of Your Dream. This is a book that I wrote, is my coaching signature, Create the Life of Your Book. So for the past 6 or so week, we have been reviewing every chapter, one chapter after the other. So today last week we reviewed chapter 5. Today we are going back to chapter 4 to review the power of no. The power of no. And today I will not be the one reviewing the book. I have a guest, and if you have been following me, you will know her already. Her name is Coach Ruth Oni. She is a registered nurse in the UK. She's also a wellness coach for mom. I like what she does. She does not want moms to only survive. She wants them to thrive. She's a mom married with 2 kids. So I'm so happy to have you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
So you'll be talking about the power of no. The floor is yours. Let's know about our boundaries and everything so that we
Wow.
can live stressless life if it's possible.
Thank you so much, Kachifi. Thank you so much. You're doing a lot of amazing work as well. Like, I envy you. You're just pushing here and there beyond all boundaries and limitations, and irrespective of the acceptance or not, you're very grounded in the value you bring, and you keep pushing that very strongly. And so I just want to commend you and appreciate you for all of that. Well done, so much. Well done. More grace, more strength, more anointing to keep impacting as many lives as you currently are doing. And
Thank you
also,
so
I
much.
want to say thank you so much for the invite. I don't take it for granted. I appreciate it very deeply, for sharing your platform with me. Thank you so much. And this book, oh my goodness, I've read that chapter a couple of times, and it's powerful. So I'll encourage everybody to go and get that book. It's not just theory, it's also practical. Like, you shared your experiences, so people don't feel like, oh, I'm all alone in this place
Johnny.
of struggling. The people, real life moms like you, I mean, the people viewing now that are also going through these things. And this is what Kochifi has done with this book: share their own real life experiences, practical ways on how you can live the life of your dreams. So it's definitely something that is worth getting. I don't know, has it been released yet? Or
Yeah, I did it last year. It's been
okay,
out
okay.
for
Just
about a year now.
wow. It's
Yeah.
definitely one that everyone should get. So the chapter 4 that I'm reviewing is a topic I like to discuss a lot. And this chapter started with, actually, I've written a few notes down. I don't know how I forgot that book at home. And
Oh,
if I say I should drive home now, we will be late. But definitely, it's so impactful that I'm sure a lot of it is in my head. And it is also something that aligns with what I like to talk about as well. So the chapter is titled The Power of Saying No, I believe.
yeah.
And it started with that, why is it why people find it difficult to say no. You talked about fears: fear of not being liked, fear of the unknown, fear of being rejected, fear of being talked badly about, fear of all kinds of fears that you can think about, that is at the base of our inability to say no. And sometimes, people do it. Yeah, the chapter actually started with people pleasing syndrome. I remember that, the PPS syndrome. And this syndrome is basically sitting on all these fears that I just talked about now. you know and I was, as I was reading the book, I thought about it, that the truth is, when you first start saying no, or whenever you say no, trust me, your fears will come to pass. Some
Hmm.
of your fears would come to pass. So you saying no does not mean those fears will not say, oh, this fear did not happen. It will probably happen, but it's not a reason for you to stop. It is even reason for you to keep going, because you cannot be living by fear. As Christians, the Bible tells us that we have not been given the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. And so part of the wisdom in that book is the sound mind that we're sharing with you now, on how you don't have to be bound by fear of anything. Okay. And so what does saying no do for you? Something very strong, which is it builds your self-confidence, which is part of what was also shared in the book. It builds your ability to be confident in yourself. And you need that to be able to manage stress. You need that to be able to live the life of your dreams. I was listening to one of my coaches this morning, and she said that the people who rule the world are the people who are made up their minds to damn the consequences, ignore the noise, and believe that they are able to actually bring a change to their world. Those are people that actually change the world. So if you want to bring about a change, you cannot just, you can't achieve it through fear. You need
No.
confidence. If you want to live the life of your dreams, it requires guts. You can't be fearful and live the life of your dreams. So it is also a place of you strengthening your ability to face difficult situations in life that would always come in life anyway. So this is just like a little mountain that you're overcoming so that you become stronger overall. So you strengthening your ability to say no is going to help you to show up better in your world. Basically, that's a summary of what I'm trying to say right here. You being able to master the skill. Yeah, you said that too, that it is a skill. Remember,
Hmm.
saying no is a skill. And with any skill, it comes with what? Practice, 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 practice. So basically, let me just run through it. The people pleasing syndrome is a problem that a lot of people have. Some people just want to do it to show off. Some people, it's not even about showing off. They just want people to be happy, which was what you
Yeah.
shared was your own issue. You just want people to be happy, to just, but guess what? You don't have the key to other people's happiness. So don't put that pressure on yourself. I'll say that again, maybe slowly. You do not have the key to other people's happiness. Like you're not responsible. I think that's the best.
For
That's
the
that's the way
happiness.
to put it. You are not responsible for other people's happiness. Just the same way you should not make anybody responsible for your happiness. I think that's one thing that affects a lot of us in marriage. When we enter marriage, you think, my spouse will make me happy, and then you get disappointed because nobody is responsible for your happiness other than yourself. So you are not responsible for other people's happiness, and so don't put the burden of you being happy on any other person. I know people tell their children when your children say they are bored. Am I a clown or an entertainer to make you happy, to make you be in a good mood? But boredom is a good emotion. They've said it makes you more creative, so enjoy it. So it's not your responsibility to make anybody happy per se. So take that burden off yourself today. I hope somebody is getting delivered right now. If you've ever thought, oh, I'm the one who's supposed to make this person happy, you are not responsible for people's happiness. But neither are we saying you are responsible for their sadness or sorrow. But don't put that burden on yourself, that you would put yourself in such difficult situations, you squeeze yourself, you will fall sick
Hmm.
just because you want to make somebody happy. Don't do that to yourself. It's not your responsibility. Okay. And all those fears you have, when has anybody ever died from fear of being, maybe ability to handle it? Do you understand? Of course, people have committed suicide or whatever out of maybe people feeling rejected and all of that. But that's what you need, emotional resilience in this world. And that is part of the things that saying no will do for you. You need emotional resilience to be able to go through this world. So don't be afraid of those things. Let them happen, but guess what? You come out stronger. That's the truth. You come out
Let me
more confident.
let
You
me ask
come
a
out.
question.
Yes, man. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. In the book, I talked about different kinds of saying no is connected with boundaries, and maybe
Mm,
work related boundaries,
yeah.
material, sexual, physical. So let's go down to material money with ourselves. I don't know what you have experienced. What have you experienced with boundaries in your
Material.
possession, with yourself, with money, with
Mm,
having things, with spending, with saving? Because when we talk about boundaries, we're always talking about other people.
mm,
Other people. What
mm.
about with
Yeah, other
yourself and
people.
the things you hold? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. So just going from that no conversation, saying no conversation into boundaries now. I believe that as I was reading that book, I also established in my mind, which is why the two are connected. That saying no
Yeah.
is also a way of establishing boundaries. It's also
Yeah.
a part of boundaries. It's probably like a small step to start from before you now begin to reflect to say, what are the things that I'm comfortable with? What are the things I'm not comfortable with? Saying no opens your eyes to all those things. So it is definitely a conversation that is tied to boundaries, which that chapter did excellently. So when it comes to boundaries, like you said, it is it is like fences. I think you said that in the book. And I also shared one time ago in one of my YouTube videos that imagine that you leave your door open in a place like Nigeria, for example. You go to bed, you just leave your door open, allow the rats and everything to come in. That's a life without boundaries. Predators, unwanted visitors, anything just comes in. Anything you see, you take it. That's a life without boundaries. And so any healthy relationship must have boundaries, and that includes the relationship with yourself.
Hmm.
A For you to say a relationship is healthy, there must be boundaries. A healthy relationship must have boundaries, and that includes the relationship with yourself. There's no such thing as freedom. Say, oh, I'm free to do anything that I like. I'm free to, because you're an adult. No, there's no such thing as that. It is a lack of boundaries. And like Coach Ify just said, now when you're thinking boundaries, we're not just saying, oh, with other people, even with yourself, with your spending, with your eating.
Hmm.
Gluttony is now something that
Hmm.
is now like normalized. That is it. It starts
Yeah,
from the
so
boundary of a thing. Oh, self-care, you now overeat, you finish mountains of food. Say, I beg, oh, I came to this world to enjoy. You know, you're making
Abby.
yourself sick gradually. So boundaries has to also do with you, yourself. And the truth is that a lot of things in our relationship would happen the way we want them to happen if we start with ourselves. You
Yeah.
want your spouse to love you the same way. Show love for yourself
To
so they can
yourself.
see you modeling that love, that, oh, she loves herself this way, then she wants to be loved this way. Doesn't mean they'll get it immediately. That's where we talk about communicating the boundaries as well. But if you don't even establish those boundaries with yourself, how do you want to begin to even establish them with other people or communicate them to other people? So yes, starting with you know, and it's in the book, the emotional, the work, the sexual, all those kind of things. There are things that you should be able to say, I don't do these things, I can't do this thing. you know I know you talked about how you were able to even when you were people pleasing, you still had that area where don't come close to my values or beliefs. But some people don't even have that, and it comes with establishing boundaries with yourself. That's where you
Yeah.
even are able to establish your boundaries. Like, I don't talk like this no matter what. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't wear this, I don't do this. So it starts
Exactly.
with self. Whatever you want to see in the relationships around you, you need to model. So the boundaries starts with you, definitely, and then it can now extend to other people. Another thing I also like to talk about is the communicating the boundaries.
Yeah.
It is a responsibility to communicate the boundaries. Don't say, you should know, she should know, they should know. No, communicate. And guess what? When it comes to boundaries, you have to communicate over and over and over again. Don't say it once and think that's it. But in addition to saying it over and over again, it's not like you're just saying it over and over again like a broken record. You now attach a consequence to that, which is you establishing boundaries, communicating it, and reinforcing. That's what they call reinforcing the boundaries. So imagine that you actually make a door to your house. A rat chops through one side of it. Will you just leave it like that? You reinforce the boundary now. You
That's
either change
true.
the door or plug the hole or something. So because humans will always try to pull down your boundaries, they will always try to override your boundaries. In fact, especially in most informal relationships,
Relationships.
closest person to you will be the one that will be like, what's wrong with you? What's the meaning of that? It was just, especially if you're not even now modeling it. You say, even you don't do that for yourself. You're not expecting us to do that for you. Or, so you have a responsibility to do what? Establish your boundaries. If you read the book, you'll see how you can establish your boundaries, a lot of self-reflection and all of that. Then the second thing is communicate the boundaries. It won't happen once. You have to do it over and over again. Don't get tired. And then reinforce the boundaries. So reinforcing the boundaries might be you saying, for example, you've told somebody, don't call me Oju your boy again. An example now. Somebody keeps calling you Oju your boy, Oju your boy. You don't like it. You don't like how it makes you feel. You tell the person, please don't call me Oju your boy again. The person like, what's wrong with you? Keeps calling you Oju your boy. Is then your responsibility to reinforce the boundary by saying, if you call me Oju your boy, I will not respond to
Sometimes.
you.
Hmm. I
I
like
won't
that.
answer. keep calling the Ojiyobo. Who is that? Who is called Ojiyobo? I have a name. My name is Ruth. You do understand? That is you reinforcing the bond. The
Like
consequences don't
that.
have to be but just have a consequence. If you do this, I would walk away. If you
I
do
love
that,
that.
I would know. You know, you're talking to somebody, they're raising their voice. You say, bring your voice down. If you raise your voice again, I will walk away. And you actually do it. That's
Hmm.
reinforcing it. You actually do it. Don't say it and not do it. If you say somebody keeps calling you about they don't you don't answer them, what would they do? They will call you what you like to be called, and then you respond to them. If you walk away, the person really wants to have a conversation with you, they would bring their voice down and say, okay, can we have a conversation? Or you
Hmm.
take up the conversation a bit later. But you have a responsibility to establish the boundaries, communicate the boundaries, and reinforce the boundaries. Reinforcing might also involve you stepping back from that relationship. Just
True.
this person keeps overriding your boundaries, doesn't respect your boundaries. What do? You step back. But there's also that place of you also looking inwards. Do you respect other people's boundaries? I know you mentioned that, and that was a very powerful point in the book too. Don't just be about you. Oh, this person doesn't respect my boundaries. But your friend has told you, stop calling me at midnight. That was an example in the book. Stop calling me at odd hours. You keep calling them. Respect their
Exactly.
boundaries too. When people see that you respect other people's boundaries, they would also respect your boundaries. It's modeling. Show people how you want to be treated. Treat people how you want to be treated. That's even the golden rule. Do as you'll be done by. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. So if you notice that people keep overriding your boundaries, I think it's necessary for you to look inwards, right? And see, one, do I even have boundaries with myself?
Hmm.
Am I modeling the right behavior to them? Two, have I established this boundary clearly? Have I communicated it clearly? That's another thing too. You have to establish it clearly. Don't just say, I don't like how you talk. The person doesn't even understand what you're talking about. You need to establish it. Oh, certain words you use, how you raise your voice, whatever it is, that there has to be that clarity. And it takes you reflecting actually to say, what hurts me about this conversation? What hurts me about this interaction? What really hurts me? They say a lot of us, we like to run away from spending time with ourselves because we don't want to dig out those things. But sometimes I see myself, actively, like my mind is running away from trying to dig it out. I'll be like, no, let's actually
We'll
do
do
that.
this one.
you know, Come back. I pull my mind back, like, okay, sometimes it just be humming and humming a song above that, your mind. I want to actually reflect on these things, but you have to be intentional to say, this thing is paining me. Let's talk about it. Talk about it with yourself. Then you'll be able to communicate it, better to other people. And one last thing before maybe if you have any other questions, is the practice, just going back to practicing it. And there was something I learned very recently in a book I'm reading. It's by a man called Jason Wilson. I love that book so much. It's a book for men, but I can see that it's a book for every human. It says, be the man the moment demands. That's the title of the book. Be the man the moment demands. But
Lovely.
it's talking about men not just being so masculine and everything. Like, you're a comprehensive man. There's a nurturer in you. There's a lover in you. So don't just be facing all these macho
Beautiful.
things. You are a comprehensive man, and it speaks to humans generally. But there's one activity it keeps making people do as you go through every chapter, and it's the mirror work. And it's not just the normal mirror work of I'm strong and powerful. It's also the mirror work of you practicing certain things. So you found that colleague at work that is always trying to override a particular boundary that you have set or something. And you feel like you can't face up to this person. Stand in front of your mirror and rehearse that thing. Rehearse how you're going to, react to them in the office when you get there. In a calm, demure, not shouting or anything. Practice in front of the mirror. Actually, can I have a word with you? You know, just do drama in front of the mirror. Practice that thing, and then even if you don't get it the first day, you practice again. You practice again. One day you will play it out, and you'll be wondering, how did I do that so smoothly? Because you've been rehearsing. Like we said, it's a skill, and like doctors now or nurses. I'm a nurse. A lot of the practicals we do before the real life situation were in
Yeah.
labs with dummies.
Yes.
They won't
Yes.
just throw you to the field to go and face the real life situation first time. You practice over and over again with a dummy. So do that with your life. To practice does not mean you have to be in the real life situation. You can I'm trying to find the word now. You can simulate. Is that
You
what the
can
word? You can,
simulate the
yeah,
situation.
you
Yeah.
can, yes, just imagine a scenario. Imagine a recurrent scenario that is stressing you up. practice it in front of the mirror. This is how I'll talk to the person. I'll say, do you know that this, rehearse it. Get the book from Coach Ife's book. Is it on Amazon?
Yeah.
Order a copy of that book. Go through it. You will see all the steps you need to go through. You rehearse it. Okay, these are communicates clearly. Examples are there. You rehearse. Within 1 week, I'm telling you, you face that person. The person will be like, oh, what? So this person can actually speak up for themselves, and they'll begin to respect you a bit more. If they don't, guess what we said about communication earlier? You communicate it again. Then you attach consequences to it, so that you can reinforce that boundary. If you do this, this will happen. If you do that, that will happen. It's that simple. You need to have boundaries in every healthy relationship. And unhealthy relationships lead to trauma, depression, anxiety, stress, chronic disease conditions, and all of that. So you don't want to have any of that. This is the easier path. When they say the path of least resistance, it might look
Exactly.
tough in the beginning, but you glide through. Otherwise, that other one comes with a lot of baggage that you don't even want to begin to deal with. So that's
Wow.
my review of the book. It's a loaded. That's just one chapter. So you can imagine what other chapters have to offer you.
You know, the way you were speaking, I'll look at my book again and say, did I write that in my book? I just know. I love the way you brought it out and what I'm taking along with me. Though I wrote it in the book differently, but the way you said it brings it out very much. For example, I wrote in the book, if someone disregards your boundary, be firm, restate it, if necessary, take action. But you said reinforce. I like that word. Reinforce your boundary. And the example you gave with the rat, it makes it so much vivid, so much clearer, so much applicable. So I really
Yeah.
love that. So you really answered most of the questions with the time we have. I think boundaries and saying no, they are related, and just having these boundaries with yourself first. And if there's anything I'm big on right now, is telling people have boundary with yourself, the way you talk. What are your values? Stand by your values. Whatever your values are, don't let people, because what happened to me sometime last year, or last year, someone just got me out of myself, and I was so angry with myself. I said, what happened? Why did I behave this way? What really gave me that last straw? What was that last straw? And I was not happy. And I said, no, I crossed my own boundary. That was my boundary. That was not the person. That means, was I not showing this person something? So this person right now, when the person is talking, I just shut off. I go to this person without emotions. Person talking, then I keep quiet. This person knows that you will not get anything from me. So the person will go up and come down, and I'll still be where I am. So if there's anything you are taking out of this teaching, this book review, is have a boundary for yourself, know your values. As much as spending, we have courses and programs that I deal with, because we all have different kinds of boundaries. Some people are very good with people. They can tell them no, don't do this, and they will stick to it. But they don't have boundaries with themselves, with the way they spend. They spend anyhow. They don't have a budget. They don't manage their own time. They waste their time. So which areas do you really need to go and start setting boundaries? I need you to look at them, and if you need help, I'm a coach. I can help you. And Coach Ruth is also a coach for mom wellness. She can also help you in the area you need that balanced life that you want to thrive. We don't want to keep struggling every single day. It's part of life, but there's a way we want to put that struggle down and make the thriving part to be more prominent, to be have more percentage in our life. And part of it is you really knowing your boundaries and knowing when to say no, and respecting others, respecting yourself, and living a balanced way. So that was great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
It's always a
today.
delight to speak with alongside you. It's always a delight, and so I truly appreciate it. So, like she said, get the book, get help. Help is out there. There's no need to continue to keep
On
yourself in
Amazon.
that difficult place. Yeah, the book is right there on Amazon. Creating the life of your dreams. It's just one chapter we've reviewed, and there's so much. Even she wrote the book. She's getting a lot of insights
Yes,
even
so
from our conversation. Even when I read the
yes,
book,
so
boundaries is something that I've also researched into and read about. But the book also brought out a lot of things, and even with our own real life scenarios and
yeah,
instances and examples, it makes it easy to practicalize. Because what we want is not
exactly.
just to be churning out knowledge, but knowledge
No,
that you can apply to better your life. So it's
exactly.
all about the applicability, and that's what this book is offering you. That's what Coach Ife is offering you with everything she's doing. There's a community. There's the um, what's that thing called we do every year? Is it Beyond Borders? I can't remember the
Mom
name.
across borders.
Moms across borders. There's the boot camps. There's a lot. Just you need to just be around her because she's going to help you make your life easy. And she's a senior mom, so she has experience. She's not, it's not like she has toddlers and she's telling you how to. She's raised, children, and she's seen the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything, and she's very positioned to definitely help you. So
Thank you so much.
reach out. The community is free. Just be there. From there, you would see even things that you need to, be a part of that would definitely transform your life. And as you're having this conversation, I know some things are sticking out for you, in your
Yes,
mind to say, I think I need to establish boundaries and start from those things. And then when you get help, they'll also help you dig deeper on how you can even do more. And guess what? This boundary conversation is a spectrum. Like she was saying that even last year, this thing still happened. So it doesn't mean that, you will not be a perfect boundary setter, and there's still some things that will happen. That's why life is not a full stop, like somebody said. It's a journey. It's not a full stop to say I have now accomplished. No, you are on a journey, and so the more it's like
exactly.
building a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger you get. If you fall off the wagon, what do? Stand up and move on. As you know,
Move on.
as we make the mistakes in life, we overstep our own boundaries. We overstep people's boundaries. What do? We step back to say, what did I get wrong? What's missing here? What can I do better? And then you keep going. No, not say, oh, I'm now terrible, and then you just
No,
stop it. No, you just
no
keep
way.
moving on, keep getting better. It's a spectrum, but just make sure that you are in the path of growth and development, because the other path leads to death. So keep
Thank
growing,
you
keep
so
getting better,
much.
get help. Thank you so much, Coach
God
Ify.
bless you guys.
Yeah.
This weekend we are having another episode of Balance and Harmony Hour. My speaker is not available during the week. That's why we took the program to our own time, which is on a Saturday. So meet us on Saturday by 6 p.m. live on Instagram and on Facebook. God bless you all.